welcome again. And here is the GoPro guide for what blue grade cross country riding looks like here at the Beechworth mountain bike park. Again, this is not a comprehensive descending guide like much better downhills or enduro bros do. This is just sort of getting you a bit of a sense of what it's like to be a fairly ordinary blue grade trail rider if you come to visit here in Beechworth. So for the previous GoPro guide, at the junction we went left. That took us around the outside of most of this steep bit of trail. Well, it's not steep, but it's going uphill. While with the blue grade cross country loops, both the short and the long, you go up here. And this is also how you approach the descent for Don't Be a Hero, Snakes and Ladders, all the fun sort of enduro stuff that others will come to the park to do. While I would love to do a comprehensive loop of the long blue loop, fact of the matter is there are little gems that it's hard to pinpoint the exact distance, like I tried to do with the Walmer State Forest guides. Those sort of turned out to be a hodgepodge mess sometimes, but instead just sort of showing the nature of the terrain and some of the features you come up against here. So for instance, that little bit of a rock climb with a few roots interspersed in it gives you an idea of why this is a very technical sort of cross-country loop, rather than the flowing nature of places like Mount Mystic Bright these days. So for the short loop, we're actually following the yellow arrows. So the blue Mojo, that's the full loop. That includes all the blue grade cross country, while here we've just sort of taken a bit of a shortcut from Mojo, and now we're going into what appears to be Snakes and Ladders. It's held up reasonably well with the rain. I've come here after we've had a few days and weeks of rain here in Australia, and everything seems pretty well. Not many branches out of place, nothing's really washed out, but that's thanks to all the tree roots, rocks, and how the local mountain bike club maintains these trails. So kudos to them, and good work with incorporating a lot of the land and nature into the design. Now, rather than saying like and subscribe, all I ask is you crack open a beer if you're of drinking age in your country, and let's keep riding. Recommendations for local craft beer obviously has to go to Bridge Road. Bridge Road is Beechworth's premier craft brewery, and aside from Bright Brewers, which is only really just up the road, these guys have set a national standard and even an international standard at times with their craft brewing. And their core range has remained strong for so many years. Of course, being this Beechworth Pale Ale, which is widely available across Australia. I haven't come across a place that doesn't have it yet. Their Celtic Red, which I find is a long forgotten gem when you talk to people about Bridge Road. And really their sours. Every so often they do some incredible sours at a limited range. At the moment, when I went in to see them, just to pick up some not widely distributed beers, they had a passion fruit sour, a pineapple lime sour, and a blackberry sour. Not really my thing. But earlier this year they did one called the the New Sky IPA with Nectaron and Idaho 7, and that was a sensational beer. So if you're here in the area, definitely stop by Bridge Road. They're not sponsoring this video in any way. I just like to share what's good in the craft brewing world, because bikes and beers go hand in hand. And as you can probably see with that small descent as I was rambling on about Bridge Road, it's just in between the trees, a few rocks, a few roots. Very nice blue grade fun. Going left, and I remember this hairpin well from my beginner days of being a rookie rider, because that hairpin and some of the rocks as you're trying to turn across just get a little bit sketchy, but up we go. Time to cut across the green loop, and in case if you can't be bothered watching that green loop because it's quite short and uneventful, currently have the Fuel EX in the high link setting just for a bit better turning response, especially with some of these uphill sections. Not sure why there was that hairpin off to the left. It's a shortcut to avoid this. Now I remember this from my rookie days. Okay. Hopefully it can still give you a bit of a scope, but crap. So that's slightly awkward. So there was a left-hand turn just before that, and that's a fairly easy-going turn. And honestly, it's probably the choice I would have taken, but that rock garden there, one day I'll develop the skills to do that, but seeing as I forgot about it, and I'll definitely remember it after editing this video, that is one hell of a rock garden. That's where you need your rear shock open or be a very good hardtail rider. Okay, so if you go straight across there, that's onto, whoa, as my wheel just washes out, that goes onto the rest of the Blue Trail. So that's the back part of the Blue Trail network. But of course you cut across right here just to make it the shorter version of the XC loop. This is the ending of the green loop, and probably the most technical part of the green trail, honestly. So yeah, even that short blue cross-country loop offers a fair bit of diversity. So if you take that left shortcut that I didn't take, definitely incredibly manageable, if not walk it. But there are a few more technical features sprinkled across it that definitely start to push into black diamond grade cross country. But that's more or less the GoPro guide to the short cross country loop here at Beechworth Mountain Bike Park, and gives you a bit of an insight as to what you can expect with the much longer blue cross-country loop, which is almost 3 times longer and definitely throws a few more challenges. But that rock garden with almost the boulders, oh boy, that's really where some of the challenges are. So until next time, keep riding and stay awesome.